It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary, the podcast where me, Spencer, is reading the dictionary in a slightly funny and entertaining way. That's what you need. That's what you need when you come to a podcast. You're like, I want it to be slightly entertaining and funny. And that is what you are getting. So let's be getting into the words today. The first word is Fortran. You can spell it, well, it's spelled the same way, Fortran. It can be all caps, so you have to say Fortran in a fortissimo way, Fortran. Or you can just capitalize the first letter, the F, and then lowercase the rest of them. So, this is a noun from 1956. We gotta scoot this over and scoot it up. A Fortran is a computer programming language that resembles algebra in its notation and is widely used for scientific applications. And you might be wondering, what does Fortran stand for? Is it an acronym? What are these letters? Why are we using these letters? We are using these letters because it is from formula, from formula, and tran from translation. And I'm sure that there is a very good reason that the inventors of Fortran decided to use formula translation, but shorten it down to Fortran. I don't know, I guess I could put a link in the show notes for Fortran so you can see an example of what this looks like. It resembles algebra. So if you like algebra, maybe you'll like Fortran. And it's used for scientific applications. Okay, very cool. I feel like I've heard of it before, but I don't really know if maybe I'm thinking of something else. Oh, my sound effect is going to be, we'll go, ching, 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 ching. The next word is fortress. A fortress. This is a noun from the 14th century. I would love to live in a fortified fortress, drinking my fortified wine. So, this is a fortified place. That's what it is. A synonym is the word stronghold, but especially it is a large and permanent fortification, sometimes including a town, like I think of, well, the first thing that comes to mind is in Game of Thrones, there were probably some fortresses. There's a big walled sort of, I guess it would be the wall area, and then there might be a town inside, and then probably a castle in the center. But because there's that big wall around and people can't get in, then you can call it a fortress. Maybe there's a moat around the thing. Let's see. There's, I don't know if you can call this a fortress. Sean Bean's character in Game of Thrones, where he lived, was it Westeros? I don't know if that would be a fortress. There is, what's the main city, the main town, the main castle, where the Lannisters are living for a time in Game of Thrones? That could be a fortress. Because I think there's, that's the throne that they're all playing the game for. What else? Gondor in Lord of the Rings. Would that one be a fortress? Because you have to be let in, and then there's a town. It's like a spiral thing that you got to go all the way up. That's like seven layers, 7 levels. It's like a 7-level cake. That could be a fortress. Fortress-like is an adjective. It's like a fortress. My brain, my skull is like a fortress because you can't get anything in, and there's a town. Okay, yeah, it's from the Latin fortis, which means strong, which we learned in the previous episode. And so now I'm going to go cha-ding, cha-ding, ding, ding, ding. It's supposed to be like money and coins. We'll learn about that later. Now, we have the word fortuitous. Fortuitous. You can pronounce it a couple of ways. Adjective from 1653. Number 1, fortuitous. Occurring by chance. Oh, what that just happened? That was such a fortuitous event. Fortuitous event when we just happen to run into each other on the street. We just happen to be talking on the phone together, and then we fortuitously ran into each other at the same time? Wowee. Number 2. 2A, the synonyms are fortunate and lucky. It's like, oh, I just received a fortune when I ran into you on the street. You are like a fortune to me. You are so wonderful. The example here is, from a cost standpoint, the company's timing is fortuitous. That is a quote from Business Week. They talk about all the businesses in a week. So the company's timing was fortuitous because it was very lucky. They were like, oh, how lucky that we just spent all of our money on this thing, and then the stocks for that thing went up, and so that was very fortuitous timing. 2B. Coming or happening by a lucky chance, as in belted down the stairs and there was a fortuitous train, and that is a quote from Doris Lessing. Okay, so what type of train? A fortuitous train. Lucky, happening by chance. Well, this has happened to me literally with a train that I walk up the stairs, and as soon as I walk up the stairs, the train's coming. That was a very fortuitous train. The example was belted down the stairs, and there was a fortuitous train. The train is fortuitous. And then when you get on the train, maybe there's a big pot of gold on your seat. Nobody noticed it, but you found it. A synonym for the whole thing is accidental. So it's like, oh, it's an accident. Oh, well, that was interesting. But I think it means more than accidental. It means on top of the accidentalness, it's also it's good. It's a good accident. There's some good stuff that came from this accident. When I had an accident and hit my car onto another car, that there was no good that came from that. I did not receive a train or a fortune. That's one kind of accident. Another kind of accident would be when I stub my toe and then coins come out of my toe. Like in a video game? Fortuitously is an adverb, and fortuitousness is a noun. And we have some usage information for fortuitous, but first, let's look at the etymology. This is from the Latin fortuitus, which looks very similar. It is akin to the Latin prefix fort or fors, which means chance, like, oh, by chance. By chance, this thing happened. And there's more at the word fortune, which I'm sure you could have figured out because we mentioned it a couple of times. But here we go with the usage information. Since 2A, which is the one that had the synonyms fortunate and lucky, since 2A has been influenced in meaning by the word fortunate. It has been in standard, if not elevated use, for some 70 years, but is still disdained by some critics. Since 2B, the one about something happening by a lucky chance, is a blend of 1 and 2A, is virtually unnoticed by the critics. Sense 1, which was about just occurring by chance, sense 1 is the only sense commonly used in negative constructions. So would you say it was not fortuitous in that situation? So this is very interesting. So number 1 is just occurring by chance. Oh, it's an accident, right? 2B is a lucky chance. So it's an accidental thing, but it was a good lucky thing, a good accidental thing. And then the one in the middle, 2A, is fortunate and lucky. So yeah, 2B is a blend of 1 and 2A. By chance, lucky, you blend them together, it's a lucky chance. Yay! That's so interesting, and I'm so glad that they called that out. But what they also called out was what do the critics have to say? So 2A, the fortunate lucky one, is disdained by some critics. They don't like to use fortuitous in that way. And but the critics, they don't really talk about TIOBE, the lucky chance. Okay, that was fantastic and wonderful, and we all learned something, and we feel a little bit better and smarter, and how fortuitous that we just read that today. I like fortuitous things. I also like cha-ching, 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 fortuity. Fortuity, noun from circa 1747. Number 1, the quality or state of being fortuitous. Good things are happening to you all the time. If you are a lucky person, by chance some great things are happening, then you would have fortuity because you are fortuitous. Number 2, a chance event or occurrence. When I stubbed my toe and all the coins came out, that was a fortuity. Or a fortuito. Or a fortuity. Bring, ding, 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 ding. It's like I just hit the jackpot on the machine and then all the coins are falling out. Now we have the word fortunate. You can pronounce this with 2 or 3 syllables. Fortunate or fortunate, which I don't really like that one. Fortunate. Seems hard to say. Fortunate. It flows better, I think. Adjective from the 14th century. Number 1, bringing some good thing not foreseen as certain. The synonym is auspicious. So, bringing some good thing not foreseen as certain. Well, we don't know. We don't know if this good thing is actually going to happen. It might happen, but then when it does happen, oh, that was so fortunate. That was a fortunate situation when they brought us a cheese platter. Number 2, receiving some unexpected good. I did not expect a good situation to come from this. This is a very fortunate situation, and I think we could all use some more fortunate situations. Have I had any fortunate, unexpected good? Yes, I have definitely have had fortunate situations. There have been fortuitous things. Maybe, like I said, running into a train, getting up to the platform, and there's a train right there. That's a pretty fortunate situation. That was some unexpected good. I'm sure I've got other ones. For us, a lot of times there's something that happens that seems bad, and then we're like, well, there was some really good stuff that came out of that thing. That was pretty fortunate. We are very lucky that happened that way. Similar, other times there have been things that seem really bad, but when it's all said and done, it ends up being the best possible version of that bad thing, which I think is also pretty fortunate. I wish I could think of. There have been so many times like this that Sharon and I have had that I can't even come up with examples. Maybe I'll think of some later. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. A synonym for fortunate is lucky. Fortunateness is a noun. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to say I feel pretty lucky. I feel pretty lucky in a lot of ways, and I wish I could. Can I send some luck through this camera, through the microphone? I would like to send some luck your way. If you're needing some luck, send me a message, and I'll see what I can do about shipping some luck over to you. Okay. Bring, bring, chicka-ding, ding, ding, dong. That's getting in a... I don't know. I don't like the sounds that I'm making. Now, we have the word fortunately. Adverb from 1548. Number 1, in a fortunate manner. Number 2, it is fortunate that. And this is one of them really weird definitions. It is fortunate that. So, the example is, fortunately, no one was hurt. When we got into that car accident, fortunately, no one was hurt. Oh, we just watched that It's Always Sunny episode where I think it was the first episode of season 2. Yeah, must have been. First or second. Maybe it was not. It was one of those. Anyway, doesn't matter. Somebody drove their car into a bunch of them, and they were all injured. And they said something like, fortunately, nobody important was hurt very much. And then they pan over to somebody who's in a hospital bed, and he's got casts and everything all over the place. And he's not one of the main characters, so he wasn't very important. So he doesn't matter. But fortunately, no one was hurt. Okay, moving on to a very related word. Ching, 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 ching. It's the word fortune, first form, noun from the 14th century. I didn't even try to do this, but it would have been great to get Fortune Feimster on this episode. Maybe I'll send her a message that she will never see and see if she can talk a little bit about her name. Why was she named Fortune? Is she a fortune to her family? I would say so. She's pretty great. She's pretty funny. She seems like she's very nice and down to earth, and I would like to be friends with her. So, fortune, number 1, is often capitalized, and this is a hypothetical force or personified power that unpredictably determines events and issues favorably or unfavorably. Oh, there's no example. I do feel like I would benefit from an example. This is a hypothetical force or personified power that the fortunes out in the world. I'm sure that there's an example in literature or something of somebody talking about the fortunes. The fortunes. What are the fortunes going to say? The fortunes out there, are they going to be favorable or unfavorable to you? Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff out there, a lot of information out there about the capital F fortune that I just don't know. Number 2 is obsolete. The synonym is accident or incident. Oh, we had a little incident. It was an accident. Did you have a fortune in bed when you were sleeping last night? I don't think that's how we're using this. 3A. Prosperity attained partly through luck. The synonym is the word success. So, I had a little bit of luck there, and there was some good stuff that happened. I had some prosperity. I had some fortune that came from that luck, some success. I work real hard, and I got no success, no fortune. Number 3B, the synonym is the first definition for the word luck. So yeah, it seems like luck and fortune and these other words, fortuity, fortunate, fortunately, they all kind of go hand in hand a lot of the time. Number 3C, this is plural, the fortunes. This is the turns and courses of luck accompanying one's progress. And one's progress might be through life, just going through life, progressing through life. So this is the turns and courses of luck. Anytime there was a good thing that happened to you, there was some luck that happened in your life, that was a fortune. You go down life, you're walking down the path of life, the life path, you come across some other luck, that's another fortune. All of those are the fortunes. There's going to be times in your life when you don't have luck, when it's pretty crappy and shitty, and you're feeling like, ding dang, I sure wish I could get some luck here. And then maybe you'll get some luck. We all deserve more luck and fortune. So, the example here is her fortunes varied, but she never gave up. That's the important thing. I'm thinking that if you're giving up, if you're thinking negatively, that's not going to help. You have less chances, less likelihood that you're going to get some luck and some fortunes. I know this is getting a little bit into the wishy-washy world of, I don't know, spiritualityness, whatever, but I think about it a lot, and I don't know, maybe that's why I'm lucky, because I try to think that that's how life is, that's how life should be, thinking positively, thinking like, yes, there are good things that should happen to me and everybody else. I don't know. It's a conversation that's very complicated and not scientific in any way. But I don't know. Just try. Just like for a month, If you're somebody who's down on their luck, not getting luck, and maybe you're thinking negatively, just for like a week, a month, just try and change that thought. Do the opposite of what you would normally do and see how that maybe changes your life. I think I've heard people say, like, yeah, it actually works out pretty well. Okay, now we got number 4. The synonyms are destiny and fate. Ooh, as in the example, can tell your fortune. Go into a psychic, go into a crystal ball person, one of those crystal ball persons. Tell me my fortune. Tell me my destiny. What is my fate? What's the future hold? Now, this one's a little bit different. There's more to the definition. Also, it's just a prediction of fortune. So, your fortune, this one is not about the lucky things, the things that are by chance, the accidents. This is just what is my future? What is my fortune? You would like your fortune to be good, to be lucky, to be positive. And I think that's why we like to use the word fortune there, because maybe we're hoping that it's going to be good. But really, destiny and fate, it's more, destiny and fate are less subjective. They're more just like, hey, what's the thing? It's more factual. That's not even a good word to use in this situation. Anyway, we don't need to go down that route. A prediction of fortune. Tell me my fortune. Bring out the cards. Bring out the ball. Bring out your brain. Bring out the stuff. Because I want to know my fortune. What's my fortune? My fortune is number 5A. The synonyms are riches and wealth, as in a man of fortune. Of course, we often automatically think of fortune as being all about the money, but it doesn't have to be. What do they say? A rich man or man with friends is a rich man, something like that. Number 5B, a store of material possessions. The example is the family fortune. Now, it says a store of material possessions. Like, it makes me think that you're going to the store to get the material possessions, but this is more like, what have you stored up in your family fortune? You're just hoarding everything. You're like a hoarding store of material possessions, things and trinkets and money and blah 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 blah. It's just greed, and I don't like greed. But some people have a family fortune and they just hold on to it. But you got to give it away. You got to give it away to the people. You got to use it for good. With great fortune comes great responsibility. Number 5C. A very large sum of money. There it is, right there. We're calling it out. As in, spent a fortune redecorating. I didn't even have so much money, but I spent it anyway to redecorate everything in gold. Maybe that was a not good use of my money. Now I'm sitting on a gold toilet. All right, this word is from, we saw a little bit of this before, the Latin fort or fors, which means chance or luck. Perhaps from the word fere, which means to carry, and there's more at the word bear, like you are bearing this weight of money? I don't know. All right, now we got to go ching, ching, ding, ching, ding, ding, because the jackpot's giving me a fortune. Now we have the second form of fortune. It is a verb from the 14th century, starting with transitive. Number 1 is obsolete, and it is to give good or bad fortune to. Now, I don't fully understand how that's being used because it's obsolete. To give good or bad fortune to. So is this like predicting somebody's future? Oh, I'm fortuning you right now, and I am saying that you are going to have a very good day. I'm giving you a good fortune. I'm fortuning you. Number 2 is archaic, and it is to endow with a fortune. So that might be the large sum of money, possibly. Intransitive is also archaic, and the synonyms are happen and chance. So yeah, most of the verb form of fortune is just not really used anymore. Yeah, we don't really say fortune as a verb. I'm trying to think of an example. Fortune. I gotta go get fortuned. Yep, not really. But now we are moving on to bring, ding, 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 ding. It's fortune cookie, 2 words. Noun from 1940. This is a thin cookie folded to contain a slip of paper on which is printed a fortune, a proverb, or a humorous statement. Well, that's the thing about fortune cookies, is that most of the time I feel like these days they're not even fortunes. They're just a phrase. So I'm glad that the definition says it contains a little bit more than just a fortune, or sometimes it contains something that's not a fortune. It's not a thing that says today is going to be wonderful, you're going to meet the person of your dreams. It's just a proverb or a statement that might be kind of funny. 1940. I wonder, when were they invented, in 1940 or what? Let's look up, because I actually did do a search for fortune cookie fortunes. I don't have any here with me. There was a time where I collected a few of them, but I found a webpage. It looks like this is somebody's blog. I can put this link in the show notes. It's from joshmadison.com, and this person, Josh, I don't know who they are, but I automatically like them because they collected a list of all of the fortune cookies that they received for years, I think, and they put them in alphabetical order. And they're not numbered, but there has got to be over 100 here. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. And some of them they received multiple times. Let's just pick a few random ones, okay? Let's go bloop right there. A smile is your personal welcome mat. Oh, that's very nice. Would that be a proverb? I think so. Sure, why not? A smile is your personal welcome mat. How about this smile? Is that a personal welcome mat? All right, let's pick another one at random. Bloop, right there. Imagination rules the world. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too. I like that. And now one final one. Let's go to the bottom. You will soon be surrounded by good friends and laughter. And that's a fortune. There is a whole lot of these that start with the word you or your. And so those, I think, are often going to be a fortune of some kind. There's a lot that start with just the letter A. A beautiful, smart, and loving person will be coming into your life. Well, that's a fortune, but a lot of these might be more proverbs. A feather in the hand is better than a bird in the air. I disagree with that. Why is a feather in the hand better than a bird in the air? Obviously, I'm supposed to be thinking about this metaphorically and not literally, but it makes me think that the bird is dead, and that's why I have the feather. I would rather the bird be alive flying through the air. That's an interesting one. But we have to call out with fortune cookies. Oh, before that, I would like to say that, I also brought up this link. What's the history? As far back as the 19th century, a cookie very similar in appearance to the modern fortune cookie was made in Kyoto, Japan, and there is a Japanese temple tradition of random fortunes called omekuji. The 1800s might be when these fortune cookies started. In high school, and we had like an history, some sort of history. Oh yeah, I think it was just our history and English classes. They were like a combined thing. So the two classes went on this field trip during the day, and I think we went into, would it have been Koreatown in Chicago? It wasn't Chinatown, because that's a different area. This was another sort of smaller area that might have been called Koreatown. But I think we had a little bit of like a scavenger hunt thing going on. And so one of the things was get some fortune cookies. And so my friend Jeff and I, we went and we found a bag of fortune cookies at some store. And so we bought them and they were wonderful. But what we found in the bag was an unfolded fortune cookie. And I had never thought about this before, but what shape do you think it was? It's just a circle. That's literally all it is. They take a circle thing, it's a cookie, it's just a very flat cookie, and then they put the fortune in there, and then they fold it one way, and then they fold it down the other way, and it's such a beautiful cookie when it's folded. But yeah, we had an unfolded fortune cookie, which was very cool. But we have to mention, when you get a fortune cookie, what they say. What do they say? Why don't you say it? That's what they say. At the end of the fortune, you can put the words "in bed," because just the way that they're written, most of the time, it works. It works grammatically, and it just makes it a little bit funnier. So let's just, because we're immature adults, let's just take one of these random fortunes from this guy's website. Go for the gold today. You'll be the champion of whatever in bed. First of all, without adding "in bed," this is just a very funny fortune. You'll be the champion of whatever. Fantastic phrase. But if you add "in bed," it's just that much funnier. You'll be the champion of whatever in bed. What's going to happen in bed? I don't know. It's just whatever. And I'm going to be the champion of that. All right. That was great. I love fortune cookies. These days, they put some lucky numbers on there too. Maybe if you are gonna do the lottery, maybe you can use those lucky numbers. What do they say that like you can't take your own fortune cookie. Somebody else has to give you one, or maybe you have to take the one that's pointed at you. I don't remember the rules exactly. I don't really follow them. I guess that's why I get such crappy fortunes. No. But yeah, there's a lot of superstition around them, and they're just a fun thing to do. Some people hate the taste of the fortune cookie. I like it. It's just, it's a little sweet cookie. It tastes like yellow and orange, kind of. Okay, moving on to bing ding bing ding ding. We now have fortune hunter, 2 words. Noun from 1689. This is a person who seeks wealth, especially by marriage. I think we have some other names for this type of thing. Going out hunting for a partner, a spouse, and they got to have a lot of money. So I'm a fortune hunter. Gold digger is another phrase that people like to use, which might be in this book. This is all about just, hey, I don't want to do any work to make money. I want to marry somebody who already has the money. Thank you very much, and goodbye. I'm looking for gold digger. There's a double D. Yep, gold digger's in there. It's a little bit later. It's a couple hundred years, maybe 150 years later than fortune hunter. So we don't really hear that phrase so much. But I think we should bring it back. Let's pull it out of the buckets and say fortune hunter again. Now we have ding 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 ding, fortune teller, 2 words with a hyphen, noun from 1590. Zoltar is my favorite fortune teller. Now, would that be a fortune teller, or is that a wish maker? This is one that professes to foretell future events. I do not profess to be a fortune teller. Nope. That's not me. But maybe you can go to somebody and maybe they're good and maybe they're not good, and I don't know. You just have to find out for yourself. Fortune telling is a noun or adjective. Please tell me my fortune. Tell me my future. Tell me my destiny and my fate. I hope it's good. I hope I have a fortune cookie. Bring ding 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 ding. Now we have our very last word in this episode, which is the word 40. This is 40. It's a noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, it says, see the number table. Number 2 is plural, 40s. It is the numbers 40 to 49. But specifically, the years 40 to 49 in a lifetime or century. I am currently in my 40s. Oh my gosh, how did I get here? Sometimes I feel old, sometimes I feel young. I think I think I'm like I think about half of the population in the world is younger than me and half is older than me. I'm kind of in the middle. You're right, that makes sense. I'm in the middle ages of my life, the 40s. It's a thing, you know. If you're in your 40s, you know. It's different though. Like the people from a decade ago who were in their 40s, they have a very similar experience, but they were also born 10 years earlier. So they are a very similar group of people, but they have a very similar but different experience. So like when my parents were in their 40s, we might be dealing with similar things in our lives and our bodies, but they're 30 years older, give or take. So they came up at a different times and the times were different. So they were in their 40s in the 90s. And so the world was everything was different. I don't know. So it's just like you can be like, "Oh, they were kind of like this at that time, but they were also so very different at that time." I don't really know what I'm saying anymore. Number 3. The third point scored by a side in a game of tennis. And I shall say this again. Why does tennis score this way? What is it? 15, 30, 40? So it's like the third point is 40? What sense does this make? Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 40th is an adjective or a noun. 40 is an adjective. 40 is a pronoun, plural in construction. And 40-ish is an adjective. I'm 40-ish. It's oh man, I like I watch movies, older movies, and like they're in their 30s. Like, isn't in When Harry Met Sally, doesn't she say, "And I'm gonna be 40," and he's like, "Yeah, in like 7 years." She's like, "Yeah, but it's out there," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm way past 40." Yeah. How did I get so old? This word is from Middle English 40, spelled with a U. It's from the Old English fjortig, also from fjortig, which means a group of 40. A group of 40 is what this word is from. Also from fjor, which means 4, plus tig, which means a group of 10. So it's a group. There are 4 groups of 10. That's what 40 is. I assume it's the same thing as 30, 50. It's that ty suffix came from tig, which means group of 10. Anything else akin to the Old English tien, which means 10, and that is that. I feel like there was more to say about 40. My 40th birthday was during the pandemic, and so that was very odd. I was going to go take a trip. Sharon and I were going to go on a trip to the Europe area for my 40th birthday, and that didn't get to happen. But instead, my parents created a wonderful pandemic birthday where, and I probably mentioned this a long time ago, they built in the backyard what they called Spencerland, which was like Candyland. It was like a live, full-size, human-size board game in the backyard, and they had a big old blow-up dice, and then they had steps. The places that you would go land on. What are they called? The places, the stops, the steps, whatever they're called. And then at different places, you would have to do a little thing. Or the bigger thing was there were carnival games at different spots along the game. And they were all based on my life, my childhood, things I was interested in for a while. So there was like Lord of the Ring toss and Monopoly, like throw the ball into the cup of coins and then you win money. And they literally gave me, it was me, I was playing, my niece was playing, and Sharon was playing too. And it was just a very casual thing. There was Archie and Mario and Beetlejuice and Simpsons and the Muppets and Michael Jackson Moonwalk it's like it was just so very weird and surreal and super fun. And it was like, wow, I'm reliving the previous 40 years of my life right now. And maybe I should grow up. I haven't yet, but I'm working on it. All right. Those were all the words. Boy, this is a long episode. And look, we're at minute 40 and my recording. So we got to pick a word of the episode. We had today Fortran, fortress, fortuitous, fortuity, fortunate, fortunately, fortune, fortune cookie, fortune hunter, fortune teller, and 40. Fortunately, this episode is almost over. I'm going to pick fortune cookie as the word of the episode. Let's sing some of these fortunes. Happiness will bring you good luck. Good to begin well, better to end well. Expect much of yourself and little of others. That's a good one. Embrace this love relationship you have. Maybe if I read it beforehand, I'd be able to sing it better. Love lights up the world. That's a good one to end on. Love. How many of these start with love? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4? There's probably the word love in a lot. Here, let's do a find for the word love. 17 times it shows up. Fantastic. Okay, that is going to be it for this long episode where I said some weird stuff, but, maybe you'll enjoy it. This has been Spencer dispensing information and sometimes fortunes. You are so great. Bye.